All right, folks. Real quick, we're going to listen to a video from the Mob Crew. Right? I put his channel in the description and in chat. And what he's doing is doing a voice. This video was just released about an hour ago or so. And what he's doing is comparing the voice with what Richard has uh, from the interview that they were doing in the room, which I think there's more of a comparison when he's on the phone from prison talking to his wife and stuff, because that's a different microphone. But he could be right. You're right. He could be right also that he thinks it's his voice and it is similar now. So let's check that out real fast. Hello, Miss Debbie Fox. You're looking lovely as always. As always.
What's up, Mob Crew? I'm Chris. In today's video, we finally get to hear Richard Allen's voice. Oh, thanks to Tom Webster. He did a live show last night where he played the jailhouse calls and then the 2 interrogation videos. The first one's a little bit more hummy, but the second one is a better quality. And it's over an hour interrogation video, which I'm going to work on later. But in this video, I am going to be matching up the guys down the hill with clips from Richard Allen's interrogation. I just took random clips from 3 to 5 seconds where Richard Allen's talking, and then I cut in the guys down the hill. The guys down the hill, the audio that I took is the audio that we had for years, over 7 years now. So it's not, anything fabricated recently, no AI involved. This is all natural. This is the same guys down the hill we've heard for a long time. So I'm going to play it a couple of times so you guys hear guys down the hill. Usually in the original audio that they gave us between guys and down the hill, there's a little bit of ambience. I just cut that out.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, I also want to point out that what we are seeing right now is not Abby or Libby's shadow on the rocks. It is legs, I believe, thicker legs, with some kind of a jacket, long jacket. But let's continue with the voice analysis, and then we'll come back to the shadow. Why is this figure? And she points the camera at it. If you notice, she's keeping the camera down, almost to say, look it, there is somebody here, and here's the shadow, right? Because you can see when she points the camera down at her own shadow, she is actually standing still, pointing the phone at her own shadow, and you see the one girl run past the phone and keeps running. And as Libby or Abby, which one her name is, I forget, turns, she keeps the phone down to the ground. And that shadow is right there behind her when Abby kept running. So let's just listen to the voices real quick. Um, and I want to thank Debbie for being here and whoever's watching. I got so many tabs open. I'm so messed up.
So it's just guys down the hill,
as you ladies say.
And then again, it'll be his voice talking for a little bit, and then guys down the hill, and rinse and repeat. I'd love to hear what you guys think down in the chat, but in my opinion, I think it sounds exactly like Richard Allen. I know only 4 words, you can't, match a voice, but in my opinion, it sounds like Richard Allen. So here we go.
Well, don't worry about it. Hon, where's this guy that's giving me opportunities? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I did something I didn't do. I went for a walk on the trail and I went home. And I told you the details of the best I can remember of what I did that day and what the walk was. I'm not going to say something that's not true, and I can't explain something that I don't understand. The only way for me to explain it is that I don't know. Because I'm saying it's not possible. There's no way that a bullet from my gun ended up at a murder scene. I didn't murder anyone. I didn't help somebody. I understand. Me either. And that's what I'm trying to tell him. You want to keep asking me, and I just keep telling you I can't explain it. I don't know how to explain something that isn't possible. I just know that I never even carried the gun unless we were going mushroom hunting, tromping through the woods, or fishing along the river. That's the only time I even carried it for the most part. I never even would have, hell, I haven't carried my gun, and I don't even remember a time when I used to carry it. I mean, other than going fishing, like if we were going night fishing. I get that. I get what they're saying. What I'm telling you is, if that bullet came from my gun, there's no way it was found with their investigation for the murders. There's no way. I can't explain something I had no answer for.
Okay, did you hear what he just said, what Richard just said? He said there's no way that bullet was found at the crime scene with the girls. It must have been from something else, from somewhere else. Does that make any sense to you folks? He's saying that there's no way, possible way, that that bullet was found there on this case. It must have been found somewhere else. And that's very possible. That's very possible. No matter, depending on the situation, that's very possible. Were they onto him before anybody knew about it, and maybe snooping around in his backyard? Was the weapon ever discharged in his backyard, anywhere around, or was he out there before and don't remember it, and racked one through the cartridge and stuff, and couldn't find it? That's possible. It's possible this whole thing didn't go down the way they said, and it happened at night as it was dark, and he discharged, or not discharged, but racked his weapon, and a bullet popped out. That's very possible. It was dark, panicked, couldn't find it, he split. Very possible. Very possible. Anything's possible. So, but what is interesting is him coming out and saying there's no way it was found at that crime scene. It must have came from somewhere else. And that makes you think, ooh, what do you mean? Right? If it didn't come from that crime scene, where did it come from? What do you mean by that, Richard? If we didn't find this bullet at that crime scene, then what are you talking about? Where else would that bullet have came from? They also asked him, do you go to the firing range? Nope. So that took that out. There'd be no spent shells or anything, or ejection shells at the firing range. No. His home, maybe. His yard, maybe. So that's interesting. But let's keep going here, folks. Make sure you check out the Mob Crew channel. Let me see what little Debbie said. Oh man, is that little goatee that looks like his mask? No, I don't think it is a goatee. I think it is a mask, like a scarf or something. But I actually think it's very possible that that is edited in, and it's very possible the video you're seeing all the way at the left of the screen of Bridge Guy. It's very possible when you do look at some of that that was edited before it was put out. So it's very possible, right? And I do believe they left the whole gun thing out. The gun doesn't even matter in this case. Why? Why does it not matter to me? They found a bullet. I mean, it does matter, but it wasn't the kill weapon. It wasn't the weapon that killed. We know that there was no gunshots. If there was a gunshot out there, all them people would have heard it. Oh yeah, I remember that. We also heard a gunshot, right? And girls screaming for their lives. And no, no. So it really didn't matter to me. What mattered was the weapon that was used to decease the girls. And that was some kind of a knife object or something. Let's get back to the video. Okay, it's hard to see that. Yeah, yeah. You're right, Deb. Hold on, keep up for a second. I'll I'll keep it up for a minute or two for you. I'll keep it up the best I can. Is that what you need? Is you're looking at something in this footage? You let me know when I can continue. Now, I'm also going to say, I think in this video of his voices as he's in the room, uh, and they're using uh, different microphones to record, I think his voice sounds a little less like Bridge Guy. But when you listen to him on a phone behind prison and he's talking, uh, it sounds more like, man, it's pretty, pretty, pretty dang close. Now, like I said, nothing is 100%. And I've always said that on this channel. There's nothing 100%. Like I said, I had 7 voice guys just from going through YouTube who were suspects in the case. And each one did sound like it. And that's why a lot of people are saying something's up with this case. It's almost demonic. These guys, they all look alike. How did you have so many of them guys in that area that look like it? Like, I don't know. We'll get into that in another one. Continue. All right, Deb.
I'm not going to say I tell you like it sounds like I can do. So remember, there's no way.
See, this is the path that we go down. There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
So that was 2 minutes of me editing back and forth. This took a long time to put together. But in my opinion, it's, to me, even though it's just 4 words, I think it sounds like Richard Allen. I got goosebumps. It is an audio for those that have followed this case for a long time, which I have. I've covered it for years, way before they found Richard Allen, and listened to that guy's down the hill more times than I can count. And hearing his voice, it is eerily similar. in my opinion. Of course, we can't say it's a 100% match because you can't do that with just 4 words. But let me know what you guys think down in the chat. It's like, again, this took a long time, so please hit that like button. I'm working on the jailhouse calls. I just uploaded those, and I'll be working on the enhanced versions of the interrogation videos soon. But thank you so much for watching. Please comment. Please be respectful in the comments down below. And thank you so much for watching.
Where's this guy that's giving me opportunities? I'm not going to sit here and tell you I did something I didn't do.
All right. All right, folks, get over there and check out the Mob Crew crime channel. Get over there and check their channel out. Great content. Does the voice sound similar? Yes. I'm not going to lie. I've listened to that voice. He's not lying. That guy's not lying. If you've been covering this case for a long time, you have gone through that voice millions of times. But here's the thing, the Mob Crew. Sir, I had 5 to 7 guys that matched that voice or similar. So maybe I should have focused more in on Richard Allen, but I didn't, because at that time, the only thing we had to go off of was the ski lift chair thing where he was with his wife on that ski lift. I was like, there ain't no way, because it was so muffled, the phone, the wind and all that. There was no way, right? And then the other thing that came out after that, I do believe, was the bar recording, which he didn't say too much at all in that. And there was music going and all that. And he sang a couple verses or something, or said something, but you really couldn't get anything off of that. So that guy's right. There just wasn't enough to focus in on Richard Allen. So a lot of us look to other people that fit that description or had that similar voice. So I had at least 5 people and their voices that fit that description and sounded like that. Now, some of these guys are already in prison. That's true, right? For other crimes, not Delphi. But they were arrested after Delphi. So was there a connection there? I don't know. Did some of them sound like Voice Guy? Yes. Did 1 or 2 of them fit the description of Bridge Guy? Yes. And I do believe they probably were already being looked at. And my other concern is that shadow. It does look like there is someone standing there. Now, that could be the trees. It could be a lot of things. Does it look like a shadow of a thick-legged person or something? Or it kind of does to me. But we've been looking at stuff, shadows, listening to voices for so long. Yeah, pareidolia. Well, that's possible. I mean, it's a proven fact. People see things, human shapes, faces, and stuff like that in patterns, in photos. It's common. But to me, does it look like there's someone else standing there? Oh, yeah, it does. Now, that don't mean 100% it is, because nothing's 100%. Right? We've always said that on this channel too. So I don't know. You guys are your guess is as good as mine, right? Your guess is as good as mine. If someone else was standing there, what do I think? I think it is pretty evil, mischievous, devious. Some people are saying there's a aura to it, a curse, a spell, whatever, somebody, you know, and it could be possible. I'm not going to lie, it's very possible if this is what's going on down there, then yeah, it's very possible. But it does sound like it to me. Now we're going to listen to the confessions. Because I'm really not, I don't care about the confessions. Right? People, he confessed, he confessed. All right, but he can confess to anything. But if his voice, if his DNA ain't there at the crime scene, then it's not him. And people can't fathom that. What do you mean? Well, as simple as that. He can say he killed anybody. He's already confessed to other murders. He said he killed someone's grandfather and their grandkids. That's him confessing that. Now, whether he's crazy, I don't know. But he already confessed to that. Maybe that's what he was talking about when they said they must have. If there's no way that bullet was found at that crime scene, they must have got it somewhere else. Well, maybe that's where they got it from, Richard. Was the other murder that you said you did when you confessed, killed somebody's grandparents and their grandkids or something. Yeah, now it's making sense. And it might be is why the other professional investigators and Federal Bureau of Investigation also was led to Delphi from what murders in another state that linked right back to somebody in Delphi, one of the crew. And now it makes sense. Yeah, so was there many? I do believe. They might not have been there. They might not have dabbled in this kiddie porn stuff that some of these guys did or whatever, drugs or whatever, but they were part of that crew or that thing down there or whatever. And it's possible there was many and they knew each other. Does that make sense to anybody? I don't know. But get over there and check out the Mob Crew's channel and he'll be doing more stuff. I see he's got a studio. I think it looked like it, or maybe it's just an editing studio, or he might have Reaper or something. All right, is there any questions? And does he sound like guys down the hill? Yeah, that's somewhat, yeah. But like I said, so did 5 other people. So did 5 other people we had as suspects on this channel. So it's a toss. Nothing's 100%, folks. What's crazy is that many people being in that area that look like Richard. And now some of them are starting to sound like each other. So that's what I think maybe a lot of these people are saying is, you know, this is freaky, you know, demonic. There's a whole bunch of people that they look alike. You had this guy that looked like that. Many people look like Bridge Guy. Yeah, it was crazy. It still is crazy. All right. And the other one thing I wanted to pay attention to was the shadows on the ground. So I don't know if we could see that real quick here. I'm going to try and stop it.
There's no path going there, so we have to go down here.
All right, right there. And even before that, it looked like a shadow of someone standing there right next to her or behind her off into the distance or something. I don't know. I don't know. And the path does look like it was ruffled up. So whether they went down that path before this all happened, I don't know. Is it possible Richard Allen was already there and came from that way and came up that way? And he was the one that made that disturbance there in the ground because it does look fresh. So he could have been down. And as they were coming across, he came up that path and started walking across the bridge, but then turned around and came back. And that's possible too. But it does look to me that that trail is fresh, that someone was on that trail. Right? Now, whether it was the girls that were out there messing around or Richard Allen or someone else, right? It could be very well someone else came up that trail, that, and is standing behind them or whatever. That's possible too. Let me see if I can get a better shot of it. I got so many tabs open. I keep monkeying.
I'm there, so we have to go down here.
See, there's her shadow right here. All right, let's look. Let me get over her so you get. This is her shadow. Now I'm going to try and swing this over because it does look like there's somebody already there standing behind her. Now it could be just pareidolia, but it does look like. Let me see if I can slow it down. Right there. Yeah, it looks like someone else is standing up. They just moved.
Hi.
You hear her say hi? Right there.
So that was 2 minutes of me editing back and forth.
I could be wrong, but it does look like there's a shadow of somebody there already. So, but like I said, we've been looking at this stuff for so long. Yeah, we're seeing shadows everywhere of people. That's possible. But to me, it does look like there's already somebody up there. And that could be the person that carved the path of the trail up the hill. Very well possible. All right, folks. We'll be back later with more Delphi as it unravels. Many players still. Anything's possible. You know what I seen today is a lot of videos of people really going at the family again. And that is freaky. And there's a couple of these videos that were just made like 8 months ago that I didn't see, that I found today. And they were really going hard at the family. And I was like, ooh, well, maybe, where are people going with this? Where's this going? And with Kelsey. But I don't know if it's because, I don't know. I seen a video where she said it was almost like the police were interrogating her, right? Like she had something, they were interrogating her more than anything. So I don't know. That's very fishy. And then the whole thing of her logging in on the phone, and she knew. Yeah, very, very fishy. All right, you folks have a great day. I'll be back with more stuff. God bless. All glory goes to God. Amen. And yes, I do agree that it does sound like Richard Allen. But there's also a couple other people that we had that sounded like that. So I don't know. It could be many. It could be the devil himself. And he is many. So maybe you folks have a good night. I'll be back. Thanks, Debbie Fox, for stopping in.